Hi, welcome back to another episode of Algebra in Words, the video series on YouTube. In this video, we're going to continue our discussion on circles. So what I have on the board here is a radius and a center or a vertex. And what we're going to do here is use this information and put it into the standard form equation of a circle. Now the standard form equation of a circle looks like this. The quantity x minus h squared plus the quantity y minus k squared. The squared is outside the parentheses, equals r squared. Okay. And you may want to memorize the standard form equation of a circle if you don't know it already, because it will be useful to know and to do on a test. Alright, so all we're really going to do is substitute into this, but there are a few little nuances here that you do want to just keep sharp on. So let's start by just substituting from the center, or the vertex, into the equation. Now, as I went over in the previous video where I gave an overview, I explained kind of the relationship between the points of the vertex and the standard form equation. But long story short, it's going to be this. So h is 2. That's going to now be x minus 2. And k is 3. So that's going to go in as y minus 3. Quantity squared. And we know that r is 4. But this is r squared. So we have to square 4 and make that 16. And that's basically all there is to it. A couple comments is just to notice the sign change from vertex to putting it in for h in the equation. The sign change. Positive 3 looks like negative 3 in the equation. And also, that's r, not r squared. So you have to square that to go in for r squared. 4 squared is 16. So I'm going to pause this and put up another problem. Okay, and how about this problem, where we have the radius is the square root of 6, and the center, or the vertex, is 0, 4. Let's substitute into the standard form equation of a circle. The 0 is, for now, let's just write the 0 in. And now let's put the 4 in for k. And r is the square root of 6, but it needs to be in there as r squared. So let's square the square root of 6. And the square root of 6 squared is 6. We don't want to really leave it that way. Whenever we have an h or a k as 0, we should really take it out. That's the way that the book will show it. So this is the best form. X squared plus the quantity y minus 4 squared equals 6. And that's pretty much all there is to it for those. So I'm going to pause this and put up another one. Okay, now in this example, I have a graph on the board. It's a little rough sketch, so it's a little oblong, so forgive me for that. But what we're going to do is, using the graph, we're going to analyze it for information, and then use the graph to put it into the standard form equation of a circle. So the first thing we should really do is try to locate the radius, and the radius is right there. The radius is 1, negative 1. So let's write that for now. The radius is 1, or I should say, sorry, the vertex, the center, is 1, negative 1. Okay? And now, assuming that that's here, let's determine what the radius is. So let's count from the center, up, down, right, and left, to see how many units up, down, right, and left it is. And it should match, but let's just make sure. So starting at the center, if we go 1, 2, 3 units to the right, that's here. Back to the center, 1, 2, 3 units up. Back to the center, 1, 2, 3 units to the left. and back to the center, 1, 2, 3 units down. So I think that's fair to say that the radius is 3. And now let's take that information and put it into the standard form equation of a circle. Let's do that up top. Let's make the parentheses x. Now, it would normally be x minus h, and since this is positive, we can put that 1 in here and square it. Plus, parentheses, y. Now, normally we would do minus this, but since this is negative, minus a minus, we'll then put this in as plus 1 squared. And we know the radius is 3, but this is r squared. So 3 squared, we should really put in as 9. So the best form answer would look like this. The quantity x minus 1 squared plus the quantity y plus 1 squared equals 9. Okay, I have one more problem up on the board, and it's a little different than the last. In this one, we're given the standard form equation of a circle, and from this, we want to give the radius and the vertex, and then we have to graph it. So let's start with the vertex. Now, all we have to do is look at this, and whatever they are, basically write them in an ordered pair, but change the signs. So the vertex, or the center, let's call it the center, it's the vertex, is -2, -1. This became this, and this became that. And finally, what about the radius? Well, we know that this represents r squared. So to get from r squared to r, we really should take the square root of it, and the square root of 4 is 2. So we can say radius 2. And now that we have the vertex and the radius, now we can plot it. So let's start by plotting the vertex. That's going to be -2 and -1. So that would be here. And we know the radius is 2, so starting at the center, we're going to go 2 units up, and then, so let's do that, 2 units up, that would be here. Back to the center, 2 units to the right, back to the center, 2 units down, and back to the center, 2 units left. So we have our 4 points on the outside, and now just connect them with a smooth curve. And sorry, my sketch isn't the best, but you get the idea. It's just a sketch, and our drawing is accurate. So these are the type of questions that you'll get for circles. There is one other type of question that you'll get, and I'm going to cover that in the next video because it takes a little more explanation. But what that is you're going to be given an equation of a circle, but not in standard form, and then it's going to be up to you to convert it to standard form, so that from there, then you can answer the other questions of finding the vertex and the radius, and then graphing it if needed. So I'm going to cover that in the next video. See you in the next video.